Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Thera Vanachari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Thera Vanachari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Thera Vanachari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Nitai Gora Hari Bol Haribol, Nitai Gaura Haribol. Haribol, Nitai Gaura Haribol. Jaya Prabhupada Jaya, Prabhupada Jaya, Prabhupada Jaya, Prabhupada. Go Premanande ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Jai Jai Shri Caitanya Jai Nityananda Jai Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jai Jai Shri Caitanya Jai Nityananda Jai Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jai Jai Shri Caitanya Jai Nityananda Jai Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Reading from Shri Caitanya Charitamrita by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, commented by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. So the chapter, Adya Lila, chapter 17. The chapter is called Pastimes of the Lord in His Youth. Text 231. Shivasera Vatsa Sinye Daraji Yavana Prabhutare Nijarupa Karaila Darshana Shivasera Vatsa Sinye Daraji Yavana Prabhutare Nijarupa Karaila Darshana Shivasera Vastra Sinye Daraji Yavana Prabhutare Nijarupa Karaila Darshana Mothers. Shivasera of Shivastakur. Vastra, cloth. Sinye, sewing. Daraji, tailor. Yavana, meat eater. Prabhu, the Lord. Tare, unto him. Nijarupa, his own form. Karaila, caused. Darshana, vision. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. There was a tailor who was a meat eater. but was sewing garments for Shiva's Thakur. The Lord, being merciful to him, showed him his own form. Please repeat. There was a tailor who was a meat eater but was sewing garments for Shiva's Thakur. The Lord, being merciful to him, showed him his own form. Next verse, text 232. Dekino, dekino, bale hailak agala. Preme nritya kare haila Vaishnava agala. Dekino, dekino, bali haila pagala. Preme nritya kare haila Vaishnava agala. Dekino, dekino, bali haila pagala. Preme nritya kare kaila Vaishnava agala. Dekinu, I have seen. Dekinu, I have seen. Bali, saying. Haila, became. Pagala, mad. Preme, in the ecstasy of love. Nritya, dancing. Kare, does. Haila, became. Vaishnava, devotee. Agala, first class. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Saying, I have seen, and dancing in ecstatic love as though mad. He became a first class of Vaishnava. Please repeat, saying, I have seen, and dancing in ecstatic love, as though mad, he became a first-class Vaishnava. Purport. There was a Mohammedan tailor near the house of Shiva's Thakur, who used to sew garments of the family. One day, he was very much pleased with the dancing of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu. Indeed, he was enchanted. The Lord, understanding his attitude, showed him his original form as Krishna. The tailor then began to dance, saying, I have seen. He became absorbed in ecstatic love and began to dance with Lord Caitanya. Thus he became one of the foremost Vaishnava adherents of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu. A very short report. So I compiled a few of my notes here just to analyze this particular context here. There are various pastimes taking place in this chapter, obviously. This is a very interesting one. Not only symbolizing, but also emphasizing how kind Lord Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu, Gauranga Mahaprabhu, his causeless mercy, a very, very special form of the Lord, and his whole appearance is not only significant in our Vaishnava studies, but the ultimate symbol of the most merciful, kind form of Krishna, ready to bless anyone, even just the slightest attention, response to his ecstatic message. So I just collected a few examples from Srila Prabhupada's teachings. So I read this. The verse and purport from Caitanya Charitamrita. Adya Lila 17, 232. Describe an extraordinary moment of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's causeless mercy on a Muslim tailor who simply appreciated his divine dancing. This incident is a powerful reminder that the Lord's grace is not limited to birth, religion, or social status. Rather, it is open to anyone who sincerely feels drawn to him, even if they do not fully understand his divinity. The story beautifully illustrates how Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, understanding the heart of the tailor, revealed his true form as Krishna. This revelation overwhelmed the tailor, who became filled with ecstatic love, prema, and began to dance and exclaim, I have seen, I have seen. In this way, Mahaprabhu transformed the tailor into a first-class Vaishnava, a devotee of the highest order. Despite his background, this transformation highlights how even a moment of sincere appreciation can open the door to boundless mercy from the Lord. As I said earlier, causeless mercy. There's no cause. It just gives the mercy. Even just the slightest attention. Of course, this is a beautiful exhibition, this particular context, this particular story, how kind Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was, to show that he does not see the externals. He sees the jiva, the pure jiva, encaged in these material perplexities, material bodies, suffering in the material world. He showed the mercy. He personally is a personification of love and mercy and compassion. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Gauranga Mahaprabhu, the most kind, the most loving form. His whole mission is based on love and compassion. And we can see in our humble example how Srila Prabhupada gave us causeless mercy. Just like this Muslim tailor who was a meat eater, Yavana, how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu simply overlooked on that sinful karma, unfortunately, but he was ready to help him. He even manifested his divine form, the supreme divine form, as Krishna. And of course, Taylor was fortunate enough to respond. We can see that he himself was not an ordinary soul, because Krishna does not just reveal himself to anyone. Although he can, just like in this case, showing his causeless mercy, his love. So he called out, I have seen Krishna. Imagine how suddenly Krishna appears to us. It's like ecstatic madness. Who would not be ecstatic? I mean, it would be overwhelming. We would feel like we went mad, rather. So he called out, I have seen. And of course everyone, what do you mean? Only he could see Krishna, because he had that sincere response. He appreciated, that moment of appreciation, Mahaprabhu's ecstatic chanting and dancing. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu blessed him. Here, I've given you my mercy, the seed of devotion. So that's what we are trying to do when we are preaching Krishna consciousness also. In a humble way, even just a micro particle of that loving compassion of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Every time we see a conditioned soul, we should be ready to give them mercy, our love and compassion. Feel for them, give them a book, give them Krishna Prasad. That's how we represent Mahaprabhu and the entire Sri Parampara, that mood of compassion, love. And we should be also, according to our capacity, of course, we cannot imitate a great Mahabhagavatas. In our humble capacity, we should be there for people. This is how Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, of course, in his extraordinary way as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he showed his love and mercy, even to a Muslim tailor. Examples of causeless mercy. So we can see the causeless mercy exhibited many times in the Shastras, in even Srimad Bhagavatam, so I put a few notes here. This episode aligns with numerous other stories in our scriptures, where the Lord extends his mercy to those who, despite not being traditional devotees, exhibit genuine curiosity or appreciation for him. A few examples. Number one, Gajendra, the elephant. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, Gajendra, an elephant king caught by a crocodile, offered a heartfelt prayer to Lord Vishnu in his time of distress. Though he was not a human devotee or trained in ritualistic worship, his sincere cry touched the Lord's heart. He was in distress, called out. Sometimes we also have those experiences, I'm sure, when we are in very much deep distress, physical or psychological or emotional. We call out Krishna, the holy name, Krishna. In our hearts we should call out, because we're in a very precarious position in this material world. Any moment we can leave our bodies. Any second. So we should be very aware, we should be very serious, mature in our realizations. So Gajendra realized the danger, called out insincerely. Although he was not a human, he was the king of the elephants. Lord Vishnu personally descended to rescue Gajendra, granting him liberation and eternal shelter. This story underscores that even a soul lacks formal qualifications, the earnest surrender and acknowledgement of the Lord attract his compassion. So ultimately, Krishna knows the condition of our heart. It's not about knowledge for the sake of knowledge. Knowledge is there, necessary, so we can make the effort and we can take shelter of him. We are realizing our position. But ultimately what Krishna sees, the condition of our heart, our sincerity, our devotion, our love. When we have that emotion, we have that sincerity, then Krishna responds. Because ultimately it's a matter of heart. Devotion service is not just a scriptural or intellectual exercise. It is actually a spiritual matter of the heart. We meant to give our lives to Krishna. We are giving our lives to Krishna with devotion, with attention, with consciousness. Here is Krishna, let me love him. So when we have this attitude, then Krishna responds, yes, this is sincere. Krishna is attracted to sincerity and genuine devotion. And we should not be afraid of these emotions. Although we are sadhakas, of course we can't imitate transcendental plane. But we should aspire, we should have these objectives. We should know where we're going. We want to develop a love for Krishna. Not just stay in one place, remaining neophytes. We should not remain content being neophytes. We should call out, Krishna, please help me. Call out to the spiritual master. Call out to the mercy of the Vaishnavas. Then we can make advancement. Then Krishna will respond, yes, The deities are already here. They're waiting for us. It's not just a mechanical process that we offer some ghee lamp and incense. No, we have to do this with feeling. Krishna is there, but we have to feel also. So this Gajendra called out. So Krishna responded right away. Another story from Ramayana. Shabari and Lord Rama. Shabari, a simple tribal woman, longed for a glimpse of Lord Rama and awaited his arrival with great devotion. Despite her low social position, Lord Ram not only visited her, but accepted her offerings with love and gratitude. He was pleased by her simple-hearted devotion and blessed her, showing that the Lord values love and sincerity above external status or knowledge. This is also a very good example that Krishna ultimately sees through these externals and sees the heart. Who are you, whether you're real or not? So the devotee should be aware that Krishna knows everything. We should not be attached to external disposition. Pratishta, we call pratishta, that we're showing we are devotees, but we're not really devotees. So we can't deceive Krishna, that's for sure. We should be honest. Krishna, here I am. My heart is naked in front of you. Please give me shelter. Because I'm full of imperfections, full of anarthas. I'm not real. I'm practicing, learning. I'm a sadhaka. Please help me to. Please direct me on the path of devotional service. So, because we're aiming, like I said earlier, we have an objective here. We want to go. We want to arrive in Goloka Vrindavan. We worship the cows. We worship Govardhana, Krishna and Balaram. It's such a beautiful experience. Even just in this earthly realm, we appreciate. At least some sentiments are there. The beautiful deities are here. Visually pleasing, the senses, the prasad, the dress, the smell, the aroma, all our senses are pleased. Haridas Thakur, that's another example. Haridas Thakur was born in a Muslim family that became one of the foremost devotees of Lord Caitanya and a symbol of humility and faith in chanting the holy names. Haridas faced immense opposition, including physical punishment because of his devotion. Yet, his unwavering faith in chanting attracted Mahaprabhu's unbounded love and blessings. Mahaprabhu held Haridas as a topmost devotee, illustrating how the Lord's mercy can elevate anyone who wholeheartedly embraces him. So we should embrace Krishna with our hearts, sincerely pray. And if you don't know how to pray, then read the prayers of liberated souls. Look at our songbooks, constantly calling out, Narottama Dasta, Bhaktivinoda, Vrindavan Dasta. They're calling out to Mahaprabhu, calling out to Krishna. Every word, every paragraph, calling out, crying out to Krishna. They're crying that so they can cry for Krishna. So that's a very exalted, sincere prayers there. And that's why we sing them. That's why we chant them, liberated souls. But if you, at least from our heart, from our own words, we should call out, Krishna, please help us. We want to attract Krishna's mercy, because without his mercy, without the mercy of the spiritual master, Yasya Prasada, Bhagavat Prasada, without the mercy of the Lord, we cannot make any advancement. Guru and Gauranga always go together, so when we call out to the spiritual master, naturally call out to Gauranga Mahaprabhu also. Another beautiful story, Jagai and Madai. Jagai and Madai were notorious drunkards and criminals, but upon receiving the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu, and subsequently Lord Caitanya, they became pure devotees. Lord Caitanya forgave their offenses and accepted them because Nityananda's compassionate appeal Their transformation signifies how sincere turn toward the Lord, even from the depths of sinful life, can bring about total purification through the Lord's mercy. I have an experience which I like to read a bit later when I was distributing books in Nimbin. I'll read it after this one. It's relating to very similar to Jagai and Mada's story. Even Mukunda Maharaj was asking for this story I wrote. So the key lessons out of all these, the Lord's mercy is unrestricted. This verse highlights that the Lord's mercy is causeless and does not depend on one's background, societal standing, or external knowledge. A sincere heart that appreciates the Lord's pastimes and beauty can attain His grace instantly. The Muslim tailor's simple joy in Mahaprabhu's dance was enough to attract the Lord's special attention and blessings. Number 2, appreciation is powerful. The tailor's appreciation for Mahaprabhu's dancing led to a spiritual revelation beyond his imagination. This teaches that even a small act of appreciation for the Lord, His devotees, or His activities can attract His mercy. Appreciating the Lord's qualities, beauty, or kindness opens the door to a personal connection with Him. Number 3, transformation through association. By the tailor's association with Mahaprabhu's dancing, his entire consciousness transformed. This aligns with the principle that association with the Lord, His devotees, can uplift one's heart, leading to a profound change in character or spiritual realization. Sri Chaitanya's mere presence and merciful glance were enough to bring about this ecstatic transformation in the tailor. Number 4, equality of all souls. This episode, like others in Lord Chaitanya's pastimes, showcases the Lord's non-sectarian and universal love. Mahaprabhu extended His mercy to a Muslim, transcending societal and religious boundaries. Lord Chaitanya's teachings emphasizes that devotion, service, and love for the Supreme are available to all living beings, irrespective of caste, creed, or background. So, I have my conclusion here. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission is one of mercy and transformation for all souls. He is Patita Pavana, the deliverer of the fallen. His interaction with the Muslim tailor revealed the boundless nature of divine mercy, underscoring that any soul who shows even a flicker of positive appreciation can become blessed by the Lord. This incident reminds us that if we can appreciate the Lord, His devotees, and His pastimes, even slightly, we invite His mercy into our lives. By cultivating sincere appreciation and humility, we open ourselves to the causeless mercy that can lift us from material existence and guide us back to Him. So I put this together just to complement this notes and Srila Prabhupada's purports. I'm trying to be very loyal to his purports. I don't like imagination. Make sure we are loyal to our spiritual masters, and that's our perfection. We don't change things, we repeat Siddhanta. Srila Prabhupada allowed the devotees to express their heartfelt realizations, even encourage the devotees to write their realizations. There's so many instances that Srila Prabhupada said, you write your realizations, even just one sentence. There's so many morning walk conversations, room conversations, letters. Srila Prabhupada said, not just to certain devotees, write your realizations, even just for your own reflection and introspection. Because we learn things when we have an experience, especially when we are preaching, especially when we are distributing books. That's why so many devotees are actually writing the experiences down. Not just for others' benefit, but for their own benefit too, because you become more introspective, you're realizing things. So last year, myself, Garuda Prabhu, young Sham, who was here before, we used to go regularly to different towns, harinams and book distribution. I had book tables, and a couple of other devotees came along, and there was a festival in Nimbi. I can't remember what, it was a big festival, and a lot of people from all around the place. And so I was standing there with the books, kind of set up, and Garuda and took the boys out to just go around the block and harinam. I had quite a few people surrounding the book table, and I like to read. I actually noted this down because it's so interesting. And even I was shocked later. My realization of this particular experience I had in Nimbin is really much connected to this verse also. The causeless mercy of Krishna, even through us. Or we may be very insignificant devotees, but when we are preaching, Caitanya Mahaprabhu either empower us, or showing us things, or simply Srila Prabhupada's books themselves on the table. The mercy sits on the table. The causeless mercy already there. Whether they touch it, or they wave to us, or whatever, or smiling to us. I learned many things from Vaisheshekha Prabhu when he was teaching us how to distribute books in the early days. The body language, waving, smiling, because we can see the pious people are very responsive. Just like this tailor, he was appreciating Mahaprabhu's dancing even, just a simple appreciation. And of course, Mahaprabhu just realized and gave him more blessings. So people may start somewhere, touching the book or speaking to us, even just a few kind words. They may not purchase the books. Whoever comes in contact with the devotees in any form, they get the mercy of Mahaprabhu, Srila Prabhupada. So we are just humble instruments there. And I just happened to be an instrument there. I didn't realize what I was doing. I was just simply trying to be a compassionate Vaimedi of Srila Prabhupada, obviously. So I wrote this, a few months ago, wrote this essay. Dear Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis, please kindly accept my humble obeisances. Recently, several devotees in New Govardhana have asked me to write an essay on my experiences and realizations while distributing Srila Prabhupada's books. In an effort to engage the readers, I vividly describe the terrifying moments that unfolded. It is worth noticing Krishna's incredible kindness as he acted as my protector amidst the chaos, preventing what would have been a tragic demise. A few months ago, in Nimbin, a country town in New South Wales, Australia, I encountered a couple of intoxicated men who resembled the present incarnations of Jagai and Madai. It was so classic. They exhibited highly abusive behavior and seemed intent on attacking my book table. Suddenly I heard a blast nearby, and it dawned on me that they were throwing empty liquor bottles from the other side of the road. Some shards of broken glass even landed on my book table and just splashed around, narrowly missing my face, even by a few inches. The pungent odor of liquor filled the air, leaving no doubt that I was their target. As the men drew closer, I made a spontaneous decision to confront them. Armed with one of Srila Prabhupada's books, I approached them, and suddenly I embraced them, acting as their genial well-wisher. The effect was astonishing. They stood there, completely stunned and deeply moved by my calmness, tolerance, and kindness. In that transformative moment, they experienced an immediate change of heart, imploring me to forgive them for their offensive and aggressive behavior. In a remarkable turn of events, both of them generously made a significant donation for the books. I had an offer. They bought the books, completely intoxicated, big, large-bodied people. I never had this kind of confrontation anywhere, not even in Sydney days. It was really dangerous, but somehow or other I was not in fear. I was just focusing on Srila Prabhupada, the books in my hand, and I've got nothing to lose. I was there out of conviction. This is the only way they can. So, but they felt something with me. Obviously, I was just a humble instrument there for Krishna. They stood there completely stunned and deeply moved by my calmness, tolerance, and kindness. In that transformative moment, they experienced an immediate change of heart, imploring me to forgive them for the offensive and aggressive behavior. In a remarkable turn of events, both of them generously made a significant donation for the books I had an offer, which I gratefully offered to their lordships, Shishi, Radha, Govardhana. Recently I encountered, this is it, one of the persons at a different location. He sincerely apologized for his past misconduct and expressed a desire to obtain more of Srila Prabhupada's books. Amazing. He also inquired about the chanting of the Maha Mantra. So just see, instead of responding aggressively and getting into argument, and often just simple tolerance and calmness and compassion. What else can we do anyway? We have to be tolerant, titikshava. This is a Brahminical qualification, tolerance. When we distribute Srila Prabhupada's books, as you know, Rupa Prabhu, we actually, knowingly or unknowingly, without separate endeavor, developing the 26 qualities of a Vaishnava. Because we want to, like for example, tolerance and compassion. We become poetic, because after this one I had kind of beautiful emotions coming through me. How can Caitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, and Srila Prabhupada's mission, their kindness. So it's very beautiful. Encounters like this reinforce my unwavering belief in the vital importance of distributing Srila Prabhupada's books. In a world where people are deeply suffering, these spiritually charged books possesses such extraordinary potency that even the most hardened and derelict hearts have the potential to be melted. Thus, I offer all my gratitude and reverence to our dear Srila Prabhupada, the Savior of the entire world, all glories to Him. I also offer my respectful obeisances to all the Vaishnava devotees of Lord Shri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, just like in this particular purport and this particular verse, that Muslim was a Yavana, meat eater. Obviously, they're very, very engrossed in sinful activities and often inimical, even envious of the Vaishnavas. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu melted his heart. So let's become pure Vaishnavas so we can melt people's heart. So then we can distribute these books properly. Takes time to develop that, but we constantly endeavor in devotion service. Gradually we get those qualities. We exhibit the Vaishnava qualities, then we'll have an impact on people. And that's our preacher's aim. The preachers, they want to be first-class Vaishnavas, representation of our spiritual masters, and then we can have an impact on this world. Purity is the force. So when we chant the holy names without offenses, follow the rules and regulations, and keep the association of Vaishnavas in a humble service attitude, then we have these qualities naturally come. So when we out there, Harinam, or preaching to the guests here, or distributing Srila Prabhupada's books, we can have an impact on their heart. Just like Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu had an impact on that tailor who was completely in mode of ignorance, I would say. But see, the causeless mercy. So we are also here to give the causeless mercy on our behalf of our spiritual masters and the entire Shri Parampara. Giving the mercy to this world, we can see so much suffering in so many levels, individually, collectively, globally, constant confrontations, so much suffering going on. So how can we sit back and not do something for the world? And the devotee always feels compassion, almost like being anxious to get out there, to help people. Not everyone can go out on Sankirtan, but somehow we should support the Sankirtan mission of Mahaprabhu. Some humble service, support the mission of Mahaprabhu. So, this very short purport, but Srila Prabhupada made it very clear, the causeless mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, how kind he is. And if we are truly devoted to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, hopefully we also resemble these compassionate qualities gradually. I'd like to conclude it here. Is there any questions or comments, Prabhus and Hare Krishna? Yes, Prabhu.
It seems that there's either positive or negative. Seems to be, at least in the examples you gave, a trigger. Like in the case of Gajendra, who was praying. In the case of the Muslim tailor, he was appreciating. In the case of Jagai Madai and your Jagai Madai, there was a negative. There was an interaction as such with the devotees. So it seems there is a trigger of sort.
Yeah. So, it is a question or you just want to comment? Okay. Yeah, the trigger, you say, okay, very good question. Yeah, we causeless. Ultimately it's causeless because no one deserves anything here. The trigger is our personal purity, our personal conviction. So if we're very convinced, if we are more convinced about Vaishnava Siddhanta than they are about the material way of life, then we have an impact on them. But we have to be more convinced about Krishna consciousness, the Siddhanta, the Vaishnava teachings, and Srila Prabhupada's message, and the mercy of Mahaprabhu. Conviction, not just intellectualizing. Conviction. And that comes from devotional service. Because they're also convinced about material life. They're very attached, very conditioned. They don't know anything else, so they're very attached to that. But if we are more attached to Krishna, we can have an impact. Because they feel something. Wait a minute, purity is the force. Wait a minute, this person has some value here, some potency, some love or peace and calmness or whatever they can perceive. They perceive something for sure. It's a good question. Trigger. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu triggered a Muslim, obviously, they responded. And then when the mercy started flowing after that, see. This is how I can explain. So the mercy, there's a causeless mercy, but something triggers that. This is when the devotees, like I said about resembling the Vaishnava qualities at the best, then we can have an impact. And that impact is the trigger, that trigger in them. Bring them to Krishna, and then they realize, then the mercy just flows further. Just like we got a book one day, or invited to the temple, and that's it. The mercy just flowing. And because we are receptive, whatever, we somehow gradually, even now, developing ourselves, unfolding, and the mercy is always there, and we're just going for it. So, Krishna is holding the transcendental carrot, so we're going for it. Not easy sometimes, because we are conditioned souls, we get tested out, but we have to be determined. The determination is necessary. And this is the more mercy comes. And we are determined, more mercy comes. Srila Prabhupada, I was reading about Jayananda Prabhu. Prabhupada liked Jayananda's service attitude. He even said we should follow his example because he was so pure-hearted. He just gave his whole life to Krishna and Srila Prabhupada. Wow, that is something. Working so hard, building a Ratiyatra cart, putting all selfish, self-centered consideration aside. Here is Srila Prabhupada, my spiritual master. So if we have that pure kind of service attitude, selfless, I would say, then the mercy even flows more. You open the door for more mercy. The mercy is already coming in because we open the door a bit. So this conditioned soul is a bit receptive, the mercy starts coming in. And the body can help to open the door for them more. Just push the door out, come in. So it depends on who they are. It depends on many things because ultimately the conditioned souls have to be ready also. There's a trigger there, causeless mercy is there, but they also have to be fertile to some extent. And that is either from their past lives, there's some punyas or sukritis or some piety, or Krishna knows exactly. So, like Srila Prabhupada came to the West to reclaim the devotees. He's a Sanapati Bhakta. He came to the foreign countries to reclaim the devotees. So Srila Prabhupada reclaimed us. That also indicates indirectly, in my understanding, that we had been devotees in our past lives to some extent. So Srila Prabhupada is coming and reclaiming us, Sanapati Bhakta. So Caitanya Mahaprabhu mentioned that there will be a Sanapati Bhakta who will visit the foreign countries and reclaim my devotees. So ultimately we are all devotees anyway, but in a conditioned state, forgetful state. So Krishna reclaiming us. Caitanya Mahaprabhu, come back to me. Krishna really wants us to go back home, back to Godhead. So human form of life is a very special opportunity. We should not miss it. Even as devotees can be, because we practice it becomes a bit more complacency and we lose touch with the seriousness of the matter. That's why reading Srila Prabhupada's books on a daily basis, keep the association of devotees, and then we can stimulate the knowledge, and we become very eager. Rupa Goswami says one should be very eager and greedy and enthusiastic. There's no other way. Then we'll go back home, back to Godhead. And we have to have that faith also. We can't be superficially humble. Krishna can save us and we'll be saved. We have to have that faith and positive mindset. Krishna is very kind. Look at this, how kind he is. Muslim tailor. Krishna himself. Caitanya Mahaprabhu appeared to him. Wow. It is mind-blowing. Srila Prabhupada's purports, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami's transcendental description and realization is incredible. We have to have the adhikari even to understand basic things like this. But the mercy is there for all of us. So let's take shelter of Srila Prabhupada and the devotees. Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhu.
Thanks for your very nice class, Prabhu. So you're talking about the preaching and the importance, and Srila Prabhupada and Srila Bhaktas at Under Saraswati Thakur stress that book distribution is like the greater mridanga, the kirtan can be heard, from one block away. Book distribution, people get books and they take them overseas and give them to their friends and they become devotees. But it seems quite often we try and distribute books and many hundreds or thousands of people, they're not receptive to take a book. They won't take. But it seems like with the Harinam Sankirtan and Prasadam, we can catch a lot of people who escape the net from getting a book. But if the Harinam's going on at the same time, they can't escape. They're forced to hear the holy name. So it's nice that if we can have all these things going together. Sometimes devotees just go out in books and they may neglect the Harinam Sankirtan or Prasadam, but it's nice if we can have all these things going together so people don't take a book, at least they're forced to hear the holy name, or maybe they get Prasadam.
Exactly. Very good point.
Tamal Krishnaraj was telling a story of that. He was saying in Bengal, that on the one hand, the Bengalis are the most fortunate people because Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared in that particular area and had his pastimes there. But he was saying at the same time there's number of people, many people in Kali Yuga in Bengal who are such rascals that they're trying to avoid the mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu even in Bengal. They become Mayavadis, Muslims, atheists,
communists.
But he said in the floods they're all forced to get the mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu because the devotees come out with huge pots of halava and khichdi, and all these rascals, they're forced to take prasadam and get the mercy.
Sometimes Krishna is so kind, it's not just appeal to us with his mercy, just like in this case, but he forces himself. But that's a special mercy. Or he takes everything away from you, just to surrender. But that's special cases. Krishna is very kind. And he knows, he's got his own plan, he knows exactly what is to be done. Often we can't see his plan. We can see his plan philosophically, that it's a preaching mission, compassionate mission. But ultimately Krishna's got his own plan, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He's also preaching in his own way, in a much larger scale. And often happens that if someone meant to be a devotee in this life, Krishna even forces the person to become a devotee. Or usually doesn't do that just like that, but only when there's mercy is really there, see? So like in this case, puts them into a difficult situation and they all have to call out, Krishna, Krishna. So, just like ourselves, before we joined we had difficulties, that's why somehow or other we find some relief in Krishna consciousness. And often devotees who come from difficult backgrounds, they take it more sincerely, as you know, than people who may come from a very pious, sattvic background, all the facility there, they may not take it that sincerely. Because they've never been forced to go through difficulties much, Everything is there for them. It's a good start for them, kickstart. Okay, you're born into a family of Vaishnavas, now you just go for it. Often they don't, but many of us from different generations, especially in the 60s and 70s, devotees coming from really difficult backgrounds, often escaping the Vietnamese war and meeting Srila Prabhupada. And so they reflect my past. Wow, Krishna is so kind, saved me from these miseries and these horrible experiences. Somehow I feel relieved, peaceful, not to speak of joyful in the association of devotees. So Krishna is giving us relief, but when we are not ready, sometimes he forces us, okay, I'll take your money away, or take your health away. Just call out to me. See? Then you really call out, Krishna, please help me. And that's what Krishna wants, the sincerity of the heart. Because then, he can force us, just like Prabhupada said his own example. I heard the morning walk conversation that Krishna took everything away from him, business, family, everything. And he quoted that verse from the Bhagavatam, So Krishna, sometimes it's an individual case though. Krishna knows, we have the opportunity but we're still attached to things. And he takes things away, okay. He gives it to us, let's see what you're going to do, testing us. Not that we can't have things. He can give us the whole world, but if that takes us away from Krishna consciousness, then he's going to take it away. But if we remain fixed, just like look at many examples in the Bhagavatam. not only Prithu Maharaj or Prahlad Maharaj or Dhruva Maharaj, they all got their beautiful planets. It's incredible. Opulence, wealth, because they're pure. Krishna gives them everything. Lord Brahma comes, what can I do? What kind of boon? Krishna comes, Narayan, what boon I can give you? That's what in Prahlad Maharaj. Lord Nrsimhadev said, what can I give you for your unalloyed devotion? And Prahlad just prayed for everyone. It wasn't attached to any idea of material reciprocation or wealth or this or that. He was not doing business with Krishna. So, but if you're very pure-hearted, Krishna gives, if he wants, he can give you the whole world and you remain fixed. It's, he wants the devotees to govern the whole world, by the way. But if you're not qualified, then he turns off the tap a bit. Make sure you don't get carried away with material wealth and facilities. But if you're Krishna conscious, truly, then you won't be affected too much with these externals. So difficulties are necessary sometimes, especially for the neophytes. Because we can remember Krishna, call out to Krishna. Like in Gajendra, difficult, distressful, wow, I'm in pain. But he was obviously pious enough, obviously not ordinary elephant, calling out, Narayan, Lord Narayan, Krishna, please help me. So difficult cases, I know myself when I'm physically not feeling well or in dangerous situation, I call out to Krishna, please help me, Krishna. I'm completely depending on you. What can I do? I can't protect myself. I can die any second, by the way. So Krishna likes that sincerity in calling out to him. This is when the mercy comes again, because when we understand that we are depending on him, and then we'll be protected also, just like Prahlad Maharaj and Dhruva Maharaj. Many great personalities, they were depending on Krishna, 100%. And as you know from book distribution, Prabhu, we're depending on Krishna there, how to have an impact on people, not just about how many books we sell, but having a good impression, tolerating people may not have the right, attitude. So we are depending on Krishna. That's why it's so nice to get into the preaching mood and spirit. Every devotee should learn how to do these things at least, to get out there and learn to be a humble representative of Vaishnava culture. Yeah, so, yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Shri Caitanya Caritamrita ki jai. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami ki jai. Srila Prabhupada.